What is going on, guys? It's Daniel Wright, and you are here listening to another episode of Paving the Way. And I'm happy to see that you joined me on this beautiful Wednesday morning, or whenever it is that you are listening to this or watching it. Guys, I hope your week is off to a great start. I hope you had a great weekend this past weekend. And as you probably noticed and missed, I did not get in front of you guys on Saturday. I was actually out of town with some family up around the Chicago area celebrating a wedding. And I had, kind of like I have in the past when I've been out of town, I've thought about, trying to record something while I'm out there and things like that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to enjoy my time with my family this weekend, and I will get back in front of the camera on Wednesday. So that is what happened this past weekend. So I appreciate your understanding on that. But like I said, I'm happy you're here with me today. So guys, as you guys know, I say this all the time. I try to keep everything I talk about here relevant, up to date, current things that I'm working on, dealing with, going through, learning from, so on and so forth. And with some things that we have going on in our company right now, with a lot of opportunity, a lot of growth, a lot of just things coming down the pipe, there's been just a lot of things happening very fast in my life, right? And I'm sure I've probably talked on this at some point in time over these last 68, 69 episodes we've done here. But the big topic of, what got you here won't get you there is something that is super, super relevant in my life right now. And if you're anything like me, it's probably relevant in your life because you're constantly trying to grow and progress and advance in your life, your career, your relationships, whatever it may be. And you always have to remember that if you want what you've always got, you do what you've always done, right? Nothing changes. If nothing changes, then nothing changes, right? I could have a whole episode on just one-liners that are all on this topic. But the one that I'm focusing on today is what got you here won't get you there. And whatever your there is different for each individual person, but you have to make sure that you're understanding that the things that you've been doing, the person you've been, the environments you've been in, things like that, up until this point in your life or your career or whatever it is in your circumstance, what all that stuff that you've been doing will not get you where you want to go, unless where you want to go is right here, right where you've been. So what I've got is kind of the three big things that kind of have to change in order for you to get there, that you have to keep front of mind of making sure that they're continuing to grow and progress. The first one is the person you are has to change, right? So in business, a lot of times we talk about leadership and becoming a leader, going from, business owner, entrepreneur to where you do all the things to where you kind of grow up a little bit further and you have maybe some helpers that help you get the things done. And you go up further and you have some leaders that you lead that help, lead the other helpers to get things done and like things grow. But you have to become that leader, before you can be the leader. Like you have to become the person that leader has to be in your organization or whatever the situation may be. I think it kind of is relatable even in like marriage. You have an engagement period of your relationship where you start learning how to become the future spouse that you have to be. You start having more serious conversations with each other. You start, maybe combining, some bank accounts. I know my wife and I, we got our first joint bank account to put in for like a wedding fund. So we were, contributing money into one account and it was just a joint opportunity. But you have to be doing those things and having those conversations and changing the person that you are, who is going to be ready for the things that you want to achieve, right? So you have to be that leader before you need to lead. You have to be that husband before you get married. So that's the first thing that you have to make sure you keep in mind for changing. The second one is, and this one is a really, really hard one for a lot of people, is your environments have to change. So if you've been the type of person who, every Tuesday you go for Taco Tuesday at the local bar and you have yourself your Coronas and your, Modelo's and everything else that goes with tacos and things like that at the Mexican restaurants, and that's what you're there to do. You're doing Trivia Tuesdays. You're doing this. You're just, you're in front of the TV all day on, Saturdays for college football or whatever it may be. I'm not saying you can't have hobbies and go out and have Taco Tuesday, but nonetheless, the environments that you're spending your time in, you're a product of that. So if you're spending every Saturday in front of the TV for college football, every Tuesday at the bar for Taco Tuesday or Trivia Tuesday, or every Thursday for Thirsty Thursday or things like that, like if you're in these environments, do you really think that the people, like if that's what you aspire to be, is a regular at the local watering hole, or somebody who just indulges in sports or things like that, if that's what you aspire to be, spend the time in those environments by all means. But I can promise you, if you're listening to my show, my podcast here, that's not what we're aiming for here, right? We're aiming to grow, we're aiming to develop, we're aiming to better ourselves for the people around us and to live a more full life. So you have to change those environments. You have to get around people who are where you're at or they're going where you want to go. And that's something that you have to change and make that conscious effort to say, okay, I'm not going to go spend time here. Instead, I'm going to go over here. One of the things for me personally, I'm a big boat guy. I love boats. I love being on the water. I love things like that. I love it whenever I get to go to an area that has a big marina with a bunch of big old boats and things like that, I may dream of having one day. But when I get in those environments, when I'm around those people who've done the things they need to do to achieve those things, it just changes the way I think. It makes the goals and the dreams more tangible. You can touch them, you can see them, you can experience them. So getting in those environments around the people, the things, whatever it may be that you're trying to aspire to grow to and to accomplish is really going to help you become the person you need to be to get there. And then lastly, the big thing that's going to be a byproduct of changing who you are, becoming the person you need to be, and also changing the environment you're in, the byproduct of that is your vision has to grow. Because you can't go and accomplish all these big, great things with a tiny little vision where you're only concerned about yourself. I know I've talked about this one before in past episodes, are your dreams, big enough for all the people around you's dreams to fit inside of them? Especially if you're in a leadership position, a business ownership position, whatever it may be that you're in right now, even a parent position. Are your dreams for your life big enough for your kids' dreams to fit inside of them? Because if they're not, your vision's not large enough. You have to have it be bigger. It has to be bigger than yourself. It has to go further. Otherwise, you're just going to be running on a treadmill, day in and day out, not really getting anywhere. So if you really focus on those three things when you're wanting to go somewhere, you're wanting to advance, like I said, what got you here won't get you there. So being the same person you've always been won't get you there. Staying in the same environments you've always been in won't get you there. Keeping the same vision that you've always had won't get you there. It has to grow, it has to develop, and it has to just continue to expand. So, guys, I think that's about what I've got to say about that topic. Like I said, it's something very relevant to me. I'm having to go through this day in and day out in my own company right now. You guys who know the story know that it started out, when I got into this company, that I was answering the phones, I was taking the orders, I was doing the estimates, doing the work, sending the invoices, everything. And if I was still doing those things, all of those things on my own, and I didn't grow and start doing different things, we wouldn't have a company doing multiple seven figures. That's just not how it works. So we have to make sure that we're willing to grow and advance and progress into being the person that we need to become in order to achieve the things that we want to achieve. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. I'm not traveling this coming weekend, so there is no reason why I will not be in front of you guys on Saturday unless something crazy happens between now and then. But either way, I appreciate you guys. I look forward to talking with you guys every time I get on here, and let me know if you guys need anything.